Good evening. It was a tragic turn of events for a Toronto worker today, struck and killed by the garbage truck he was operating.
It happened this morning in a Scarborough neighborhood, and tonight an investigation is underway into how and why the incident happened. CTV's John Musselman is live at the scene with the latest. John.
Well, Michelle, it happened on the street I'm standing on right now, and as you mentioned, investigators will be trying to determine why this happened. The accident happened around 8:30 this morning on Middleport Crescent. That's near Morningside and Finch, a routine weekly garbage pickup that turned deadly. Police say a 66-year-old city employee operating the truck got out of the vehicle. It rolled forward, running him over. The truck then came to a stop when it crashed into a light pole. This is video obtained from a neighbor's camera. You can see the truck hitting the pole. In a second video, which is too graphic to broadcast, it shows the worker running beside the truck as it rolls forward without an operator. He slips on the snow and falls under the rear wheels. It happened in front of this woman's home. She explains what she saw on her home security video.
He was walking, he slipped, and the truck just went over him. That's all I saw. It's really sad. Like, you're upset. He's a serviceman. He deserved the full life.
It's really sad, that's for sure. I feel bad for his family.
Toronto police sealed off the street and began gathering forensic evidence. The Ministry of Labour also sent investigators to the scene. There will be an inspection of the truck to make sure there was no mechanical malfunctions. In a statement released by the City of Toronto, a spokesperson wrote, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the death of a City of Toronto employee this morning following a workplace incident. We offer our heartfelt condolences to our colleagues' family, friends, and peers, and we are committed to supporting employees during this difficult time." The man killed was a member of City Union Local 416. It released this statement saying it is committed to working closely with the Ministry of Labour, investigators, police, and the City of Toronto to understand what happened. We will share further information as it becomes available. We have reached out to the family to offer our support. Our thoughts remain with the family, their loved ones, and all solid waste management colleagues during this difficult time. The cause of the accident remains under investigation. And the truck here involved was removed from the scene just a short time ago. The name of the man who was killed has not been released. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. A woman is in hospital fighting for her life tonight after a tent fire in South Etobicoke.
Police are now searching for a suspect in connection with the incident that also left a police officer with minor injuries. CTV's Janice Golding is live tonight in Etobicoke with more details. Janice.
Hi, Nathan. Yes, a woman is fighting for her life after the tent she was in went up in flames, a blaze police are describing as suspicious.
Emergency vehicles rush a woman in her 50s to hospital after she was set on fire this morning. Police originally called to the scene by passers-by reporting a man and a woman involved in a dispute.
That was the nature of the original call, which brought our attention of our officers to the location. In terms of what unfolded at that point, we weren't able to determine, because once we got here, our focus shifted to life-saving measures, where one of our officers actually dragged the individual from the tent, and another officer used fire extinguisher to put down the blaze.
When officers arrived on scene shortly after 10:40 a.m., they did not see individuals involved in an altercation, finding instead a tent in a laneway behind a building at Lakeshore and 8th Street engulfed in fire.
I must tell you that a woman was seen walking away from the area around the time of this incident. And we're working to determine who she is and whether she may have information that could help us understand what occurred here today.
Police couldn't say what role the man involved in the original report may have played in this incident, but they are looking for a woman who was spotted at the scene.
We know that this building behind me is abandoned. However, it has a number of people that have been squatting within the building itself and the laneway. So there are certainly regular check-ins by ourselves, the City of Toronto, for the well-being of the people that occupy the area. In terms of any criminality that's occurred, not that's come to my attention, but certainly not of this magnitude or alarm.
The fire marshal is now investigating. Officers are also speaking with witnesses and canvassing the area for evidence.
The woman suffered severe life-threatening injuries. The police officer, meanwhile, sustained minor injuries to the hands and was treated and released from hospital. Anyone with any information is asked to contact Toronto Police. Reporting live, Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle.
Thank you, Janice. Police are searching for a suspect after a woman was stabbed in Scarborough this morning. Police were called to Markham Road and Select Avenue at 7:30 for reports of a stabbing. A woman in her 50s was found and rushed to hospital with what were described as life-threatening injuries. Police say the suspect is described as a male, 5'8", wearing all black. Police say he left the scene in a light-colored sedan. Still to come tonight, Ontario's Auditor General is raising red flags over doctor billing and how it's being monitored. Still ahead, the anomalies uncovered that could be costing taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars.
And we have more news in a moment, but first, here's a live look outside of this hour. Temperatures are dropping tonight, and the cold air is going to stick around into the morning. Lindsay Morrison has the look at the current condition.
And she joins us from a fitness studio in Mississauga as our Toy Mountain campaign goes into high gear on this Giving Tuesday of all days, Lindsay.
It's the best kind of day, Michelle and Nathan. Not only is it Giving Tuesday, but I think it's the perfect opportunity to keep building a toy mountain. Look at this crowd here tonight. This is at Evolution Chambers in Mississauga. Look at everyone. They've got all their toys. We have so many friends to meet tonight. So many people that we're celebrating and their generosity, including the Oldfield family over here. So this is Taylor and Joey. Tell us what you brought tonight.
We brought a whole slew of toys just to help kids out who maybe don't have enough for Christmas.
I mean, I love that. And this is just something that your family decided to do, Taylor?
Yeah. I like giving to people who don't have a lot.
Yeah, it's so important to do it this time of year. This is all just from one family, Nathan and Michelle. Isn't that incredible? About 4 big bags of toys here. Let's hear it for them, everyone. That's a very amazing donation. And Gina from the Salvation Army, it is Giving Tuesday. So what are we encouraging people to do?
Well, if you give online to salvationarmy.ca, your donation is matched all the way up until December 31st. So thank you for your donation, and everyone here is giving hope today.
Oh, we're feeling the hope, and we're feeling the cold outside, but it's nice and warm in here. We've got warm hearts tonight. Here's a look at your weather. Yeah, it's a little chilly tonight. Temperature-wise, we are below freezing, and we will be through the rest of the night tonight, on our way to an overnight low near -7 degrees. On the satellite and radar, not much to show you. We did have that light dusting of snow this morning. That is now long gone. There's our current temperatures. The wind's not a big factor today, but they will be tomorrow. They are coming from the north, but they're fairly light. We're going to see the winds pick up in strength throughout the day tomorrow again. So there's your overnight at a glance. It's looking chilly. We're going to talk about just how cold it could get a little later this week. But for now, we are live in Mississauga at Evolution Chamber building a toy mountain. Oh, it's a great crowd here tonight. Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Lindsay. See you a little later.
Like that one. That's good.
Well, still no firm date, but Ontario's Transportation Minister provided an update today on the potential opening of the Eglinton Crosstown LRT.
It comes as a local city councillor and a union leader call for an inquiry into the project, which has had significant delays. CTV's Mike Walker has the story.
The long-delayed Eglinton Crosstown is moving closer to opening, with revenue service testing now complete, and for the first time, the Transportation Minister revealing the line could be in operation before the end of this year.
There is a possibility. The Crosstown has had training on it for over a year with respect to the system.
The minister says substantial completion is set to be marked over the next 2 weeks, but ultimately the TTC will determine the opening date.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm anticipating it, but the anticipation is, getting weary now at this point.
Metrolinx has insisted it wants to ensure the 19-kilometer line that has been plagued with deficiencies is safe before allowing passengers to ride it. But there are renewed calls for accountability.
If they're not open about what's gone wrong, how do we trust that they're going to get it right?
City Councillor Josh Matlow and the union representing transit workers raising concerns and demanding answers from Metrolinx and the TTC after 2 LRTs collided at the Mount Dennis maintenance yard in October.
We only have word of mouth amongst our peers as to what happened or what's going on, and we talk about confidence, we talked about clarity, we talk about transparency. We're not getting it.
No workers were involved, and Metrolinx hasn't revealed many details, but the Transportation Minister today offered this.
It was human error, but that is why we have the most rigorous processes in place. There wasn't even a scratch from that incident, so it was a very minor incident, but we take our safety, our testing process very seriously.
Matlow also renewing calls for a public inquiry into the project that is years overdue and at least $1 billion over budget.
They refuse to answer. They say, give us some space. They make announcements that they're not going to give announcements. It is ludicrousy, and that's not how a public agency should run.
The city needs to know where the money's been going and what's been taking place since then.
The transportation minister stating that lessons learned are being applied to other transit projects. In response to the concerns raised by Matlow and the transit union, Metrolink says it will continue to work with the TTC to ensure safety remains at the forefront leading up to the completion of the crosstown. Mike Walker, CTV News.
One person has been arrested after a foot chase following a hit and run this morning. Police were called to the Beaconsfield and Afton area just after 8:30. Now, police say the driver was involved in a collision and ran away from the scene. The driver was arrested a short time later after a foot chase with police. Police have not said whether anyone was injured in the initial collision.
Police have located a white Lamborghini SUV they believe was involved in a hit and run downtown last night. A woman was struck by a vehicle around 7:15 near Queens Quay and Yonge Street. She was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The driver involved left the scene. Police say they have found the vehicle but are still searching for the driver. Investigators are asking anyone with information to come forward. Meanwhile, a cyclist was seriously injured after being hit by a vehicle downtown last night. This happened around 10:15 near King and Niagara Street. The cyclist, a man in his 30s, was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The driver involved in this incident remained at the scene.
York Regional Police are treating a fire at a strip mall in Vaughan as suspicious. Flames broke out just after 5 a.m. at a location near Dufferin and Center Street. No injuries have been reported. York Regional Police say the fire is being investigated as suspicious. The Office of the Fire Marshal has been notified as officials look into the possible cause.
And take a look at this scene from Scarborough late this afternoon. What appears to be a broken water main sending water spraying several meters up into the air. The calls came in just after 4. It happened on Estate Drive near Markham and Progress. The water appears to have flowed towards that intersection, causing pooling in the westbound lanes of Progress. The RCMP said today it teamed up with other law enforcement agencies to seize a large quantity of fentanyl and other illicit drugs over a 5-month period.
There have been thousands of arrests and charges following a focus on traffickers, production labs, distribution networks, and financiers. CTV's Judy Trin has the details.
These investigations took place on opposite ends of our province.
For months, police across Canada, in big cities and small towns, have been targeting organized crime.
We did find this group had certain photos or emblems.
Between May and October, a joint strike force of more than 100 police agencies focused on taking illegal fentanyl off the streets. Police seized 386 kilograms of fentanyl, more than 1,700 kilograms of methamphetamine, and nearly 6,000 kilograms of cocaine, along with more than $13 million in cash.
There's some big players here, and there's some smaller departments, but it's a real shining example of the feds, the provinces, and municipal agencies all working together.
A chunk of fentanyl there.
This is the second time that a national effort was coordinated by the RCMP to target deadly opioids after Donald Trump accused Canada of not doing enough to stem the flow of fentanyl across the border earlier this year.
Canada's a very bad abuser.
The RCMP say more than 8,000 arrests and charges were laid involving 200 organized crime groups. Despite the record quantities of seizures, investigators say fentanyl is being trafficked for domestic use, not being exported.
The source is not each other. The source is from external countries, external regions. So fentanyl is not going certainly from Canada to the U.S.
The RCMP say China continues to be the biggest source of precursor chemicals that go into the making of illegal fentanyl. In the near future, the Mounties plan to target ports, rail yards, and airports, along with drugs that are sent through the mail. Judy Trin, CTV News. Ottawa.
The Prime Minister addressed the Assembly of First Nations today, saying his government will introduce clean drinking water legislation in the spring, later than pledged. Mark Carney also promised to complete work on reforming child and family services. But before he spoke, chiefs passed a resolution demanding withdrawal of the pipeline deal between Ottawa and Alberta. CTV's Abigail Beeman has the details.
This resolution has been accepted and approved by consensus.
The Assembly of First Nations unanimously passed a motion to keep the oil tanker ban off the BC West Coast and called to scrap the MOU with Alberta that sets the stage for a new pipeline.
We will use every measure possible to fight and oppose an oil pipeline.
Merle Alexander is representing 2 BC coastal First Nations at the Assembly and says a proposed pipeline is a threat to many people's not just livelihood, but very essence.
First Nations in Canada are feeling overwhelmed, that they're feeling as though the duty to consult is being undermined.
Canada can create all the MOUs, project offices, advisory groups that they want, but chiefs are united. When it comes to approving large national projects on First Nations lands, there will not be getting around rights holders.
It's bad enough First Nations don't trust the government, and this makes it even worse.
BC's regional chief came to Ottawa with the message that First Nations need to be consulted about development on their territory.
Not about us, without us, and that is a rounding message, I think, not only with the resolution, but with all our concerns in regards to Bill C-5.
And it's a message not just coming from BC.
We've had enough of being excluded, and there's going to be trillions of dollars going to be extracted over the next 10 to 100 years, and for First Nations to get chump change, it's not going to happen.
The Special Chiefs Assembly continues here until Thursday. Also on the agenda, a plenary session about the Major Projects Office and Indigenous Advisory Committee. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
To Queen's Park next, where the province's Auditor General released her annual report.
The focus this year on healthcare. Among other things, the AG says Ontario is falling short when it comes to connecting residents with primary care. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris is live tonight with the details. Siobhan.
Well, there was also a big focus in this report on billing. The Auditor General describes the system by which that's done as archaic, with not enough people at the Ministry of Health taking a close look at the numbers coming in. Ontario's Auditor General finds big gaps in monitoring doctor billing practices. In her annual report, Shelley Spence flags physicians putting in for over 100 hours in just a day, 365 days of work a year, and far more than their peers, sometimes all 3.
Those were all very shocking to me.
The government estimates anomalies could cost taxpayers in the ballpark of $500 million a year.
If there is waste in the billing system, and we're not saying there is, we're just saying it needs to be reviewed. And if it could be recovered, you could use that money to hire more family physicians.
The parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Health, dismissive of eyebrow-raising bills.
Well, no, we're not. Maybe you're talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about an actual process.
He explains healthcare and its billing system are complex.
So we need not automatically jump to an assumption.
The Ministry of Health says the problem cases the auditor identified are being investigated.
This isn't really about the individual doctors as much as it is about the fact that the government refuses to put enough people in charge of monitoring these things.
The auditor also flags a lack of collaboration and planning on getting Ontarians linked to primary care. While the province has boasted about clearing half of a waiting list,
Healthcare Connect is failing to meet the moment. Ontario health teams are saying it's not working, patients are not using it, family doctors are not using it.
Spence notes that only about 11% of those without a doctor are using the service.
Maybe if you advertised that it's available to people, it might start working.
Ontario hasn't updated its communication plan to tell doctors and patients about the program in a decade.
For generations.
This was the biggest year on record for government advertising, $112 million through the end of March. 38% of that bill covered ads the Auditor General describes as being mostly to foster a positive image of progressive conservatives.
It's important both before or after an election cycle for the public to be informed with nonpartisan government advertising. That is what we're doing. That is what we're committed to.
A rule change by the previous Liberal government allowed this kind of advertising.
That was the wrong thing to do.
It makes me mad. Not as mad as I am about the way they're spending money right now.
The government's defending disorganized management of its PPE stock, something that's led to $1.4 billion worth of gloves, masks, and gowns
literally being thrown away. Blown up in smoke.
The auditor says some of this stuff expired or was purchased post-pandemic in long-term contracts. The gear not always fitting the needs of the people who use it.
Yeah, well, I guess I would ask a question. Would you like substandard PPE to be used with your children?
Shelley Spence says she can't entirely blame the government for there being some level of waste because there was such a scramble to get your hands on PPE in the early days of the pandemic. Reporting live from Queen's Park, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Ukraine's president made his first official visit to Ireland today. Volodymyr Zelenskyy is continuing to seek European support for the war against Russia amid ongoing efforts to end the conflict.
And the most difficult questions or questions with the challenges, it's about territories. It's about frozen assets. Because I can't just myself speak on behalf of European leaders. It's about money, which are frozen, but in Europe.
The Irish government announced an additional €100 million for non-lethal military assistance and another $25 million to help Ukraine support its energy system. In Moscow, an American delegation met with Vladimir Putin. The Russian president accused Ukraine's European allies of sabotaging U.S.-led efforts by amending peace proposals with demands that are unacceptable.
Pope Leo XIV has concluded his three-day visit to Lebanon with a call for peace.
I especially pray for beloved Lebanon. I ask the international community once again to spare no effort in promoting processes of dialogue and reconciliation, and make a heartfelt appeal to those who hold political and social authority here and in all countries marked by war and violence.
The pontiff ended his first foreign trip with a mass along the Beirut waterfront. He visited Turkey before traveling to Lebanon.
Coming up, famous faces, scientists, doctors, and caregivers converge for a conversation on women's brain health. We'll take you to Canada's inaugural summit, where an array of insights aim to ignite action.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, do you put up Christmas and holiday lights? If you do, how often do you have to replace them? Some outdoor lights only seem to last a year or two, but there are ways to get them working again. We speak with an expert. That story is just ahead.
Well, this crew is certainly helping us build a mountain of toys. We are here at Evolution Chamber. This is Greg Chiappetta, and you have been doing this for how many years?
So it's going to be our 5th year. Normally when members come in, we're talking about, hitting numbers on a scale and evolving, right? Now we're talking about something even heavier, which is the toys. And honestly, our members went crazy this year. We always have goals for our members to hit. This time, they always surpass it. This time, it's even more crazy than ever. They actually helped us bring over 700 toys together here at Evolution Chamber. And honestly, it's just been, it's great to know that, even one kid can just wake up and be happier this Christmas. We could be a part of it. It's a beautiful thing. And honestly, I'm not the best at speaking. My nana over here is going to be a little bit better.
Well, Merry Christmas to everybody.
That's beautifully said. Thank you, Evolution Chambers. Let's take a look at your weather for tomorrow. It's going to be another cool start to the day. Daytime high about 1 degree. And then we are looking at some cold air moving in for the rest of the week. We are here at Evolution Chamber. These guys are helping us build a toy. And there are ways you can donate too. Here's a look at how you can text to donate and help support CTV and the Salvation Army. Stay with us. CTV News. We'll be right back. Woohoo!
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
You may have noticed holiday lights dotting your neighborhood landscape. They sure make a home look festive, but they can also be frustrating to use.
Right. The winter weather can be a challenge for string lights, which often need to be replaced, but there are some things you can do to try to make them last. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. I seem to have to replace some of my lights every year. It's not just frustrating. It can also be expensive. But just because a strand won't light, it doesn't mean it's done for good. We speak with an expert who has some good advice. Some homes are already decked out for the holidays, and some homeowners spare no expense to have their properties look great for the festive season. It never seems to fail. Every year when I do my Christmas and holiday lights, there always seems to be at least one or two strings that don't work, and it's hard to know when should you fix them and when should you throw them out.
Number one rule is to make sure that you unplug things before you attempt to fix them.
Kyle Tobin of Christmas Lights Toronto says his company has been decorating homes for the past 35 years. He says, unfortunately, many holiday lights are not built to last.
The problem is that consumer lights, retail version lights, are not designed to withstand more than 1 or 2 seasons, whereas commercial grade lights are meant to be replaceable. Parts can be retrofitted so that they can be maintained to last many years.
Tobin says wet, freezing temperatures are also hard on outdoor lights.
Brittle wire, water, and corrosion. Those are the biggest culprits of things that make a light strand disposable.
If you have a strand that won't light, there are 2 fuses behind a small door on the plug. Replacing them with fuses that came with your original set or that you purchased separately could fix the problem.
If this doesn't fix it, there's a good chance you need to throw out your lights. Plug her in, and if it works, then you've probably solved the problem.
Also check bulbs for corrosion.
When this corrosion happens from moisture getting in and age, you develop something that's going to interrupt the flow of electricity.
A recap: 4 common fixes for burnt-out string lights. Replace the fuses, swap burnt-out bulbs, check bulbs and the cord for damage, and if bulbs are rust-colored and the wire is brittle and frayed, recycle the lights and get a new set. Tobin says using damaged lights is not worth the fire risk, as you want to be sure you have a safe holiday season. And when you buy new holiday lights, it's a good idea to save the receipt and the fuses and extra bulbs that come with it. You never know, if the strand goes out, you might be able to get it working again. It can't hurt to try. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Let's head back to Evolution Chamber in Mississauga, where the gift giving is in full swing tonight.
And that's where we find our Lindsay Morrison, spending some time with so many generous donors and a gift in your hand.
Yeah, you know what? There have been so many amazing toys donated the last little while here. I'm having fun playing with them myself, but we have to celebrate the people who are really making a difference tonight. I have Steve and I have Eddie here from Woodbridge GTA Climate Care. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us, Lindsay. You know what? Woodbridge, we're always helping people out during the winter season. When they have no heat, we come out. Got a gift for you as a toque to keep you warm during those cold broadcasts.
Thank you so much.
We also have a bin at our location taking toys as we speak.
Thank you.
And to hit our goal, I think it's 65,000 toys you needed. So the office, we've got a check donation to help out those toys from Eddie and the rest of the team at Woodbridge.
Wow, $1,500. Thank you so much, Woodbridge. This is phenomenal. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Eddie. All right, I want to introduce you to some more friends over here. The Port Credit Storm. This is the U18 team. Jace, come on over here a little bit. What does it mean for you to participate in something like Toy Mountain? It's great to see you guys again. You've been growing up with this campaign.
Oh, yeah, we've always been doing this every year. Always been wanting to do it for the children. Always been wanting to do it for the sake of the Christmas spirit. You need to be out there for the children. They always deserve these kinds of things, and when they're in hard times, they're in hard times. They can't take something that isn't deserved to them. So we are donating all these toys for a reason, and there's a reason why people should also donate to all their local bins. Please and thank you. Have a good Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So well said. Thank you. Let's hear it for the Port Credit Storm. Another fabulous donation. And Jeff from the Salvation Army, I just want to bring you in here for a moment because this is Giving Tuesday. Our campaign is now well underway. What sort of message do you have to viewers at home?
Well, it's so amazing. We have so many amazing community partners and donors, volunteers that really help
help us make our job a lot easier in what we do. And, you know, these toys go a long way in helping us build relationships with our customers that come to our various facilities. And it gives us the opportunity, not just at Christmas, but year-round, to walk alongside them and to really offer them hope and dignity and to try and change their lives one at a time.
Well, we're now making our way into December, and so this is the time of year when I think so many people are doing their shopping, they're thinking about helping others, and yeah, it's starting to feel a little cold out there too. I might need this toque soon. Let's get to your forecast, and what you need to know is the fact that, yeah, it's a little chilly out there right now. Look at these temperatures across northern Ontario, and in the south, we are at -3 degrees here in the city of Toronto. Feels like -7. Overnight tonight, we dropped to a low near -7 degrees, but feeling like -10. Tomorrow, at a glance, flurries in the forecast. Once again, it is going to be a windier day. Southwest winds for tomorrow and then northwest winds for Thursday with some lake effect snow squalls kicking back in. So here's a little look at the temperatures we're expecting across southern Ontario, central parts of the province, and the east as well. It is likely that many communities will hit the freezing mark or climb slightly above, which is nice because, oh boy, Thursday is going to be a lot colder. We've had lake effect snow off Georgian Bay today, areas east of there, and then that snow that we got this morning, that system has moved well off to the east. In fact, it's become a nor'easter for our friends in Atlantic Canada. Next frontal system moves in for us tomorrow. Might get a burst of snow in the afternoon or the evening. Here's how that looks. So we'll pause this here as we make our way into your Wednesday night and then into Thursday. As mentioned, winds change direction. It is going to be a cold day, and yes, a few lake effect bands could extend all the way from Lake Huron and Georgian Bay toward us here in the GTA. It's not a lot of snow in the forecast, maybe a trace to a couple of centimeters of snow over the next couple of days here, but yes, flurries could be flying. 7-day forecast looks like this. Thursday is the coldest day in the short range forecast, but it's not our only cold day. Friday and Saturday look to be cloudy. Temperature wise, we climb back to about 1 degree on Saturday, and then the next blast of Arctic air is going to move in for Sunday night, and it will be a chilly start to next week, but at least we will enjoy some sunshine on Sunday and Monday. We're having a great time here building a toy mountain, and we've got lots more to do. Thank you to everyone at home who's considering helping us with our campaign. This is how you can make a difference, and be sure to visit toymountain.ca and text to donate toys to 30333, and that will amount to a $25 donation. We are so grateful to this community and everything you are doing. Stay with us. More from Toy Mountain coming up.
A number of Hollywood stars are in Toronto today, not to promote a movie, but instead they're at a conference to promote brain health.
And one of the keynote speakers is the spouse of a man who used to be one of the biggest action stars and now requires constant care. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
Bruce Willis's family announced the actor had frontotemporal dementia in 2023, just months after he developed aphasia and retired from acting. And at the Women's Brain Health Summit, his wife Emma Hemming-Willis spoke of their experiences.
I think he's doing really well with a very unkind disease. You know, he's surrounded by love and support. And he's doing well today. I was carrying a lot of grief and anger and resentment and all the things that caregivers experience but don't always talk about. But I realized for myself that it was important I didn't want that just to be the only note. So I made the choice that I wasn't going to allow Bruce's disease to take our whole family.
And as Hemming-Willis has become an experienced caregiver, she has also become an advocate for supporting caregivers in general.
For many caregivers, including myself, just how isolating it can be. So I think it's really important that we keep talking about caregiving, being able to, raise awareness, shine a light, a big spotlight on caregivers so that they get the support that's needed for them.
Organizer Lynn Poslin says this is the 7th annual Women's Brain Health Day.
Almost 70% of Alzheimer's sufferers are women, but research has historically focused on men. So we wanted to make sure that we raised awareness and funds to level that research playing field, but also educate the public about what they can do to protect their cognitive vitality.
Going forward, we're hopefully going to see this as part of physical exams as we age, that maybe you'll get your amyloid and tau levels checked to see if you are at risk for developing Alzheimer's.
Lisa Genova says this is a key point in the battle against dementia as the first disease-modifying drugs become available. But diagnosis is the first step. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, it appears Canada loves K-pop, according to new data from YouTube.
I try to hide, but something broke. I try to sing, couldn't hit the notes.
The streaming platform says several tracks from K-pop Demon Hunters were the most watched music videos and shorts by Canadians this year. And Netflix reports the animated film is its most popular of all time, with more than 236 million views. K-pop Demon Hunters is the debut movie from Korean-Canadian director Maggie Kang.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A smaller Canadian bank is being acquired in a $1.9 billion deal. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that.
Laurentian Bank is being sold to Fairstone Bank for just under $2 billion. Fairstone is an alternative mortgage lender. It will pay a 20% premium to Laurentian shareholders to buy the bank's commercial lending unit. And National Bank is acquiring Laurentian's retail and small business assets. The news today swept Laurentian shares up over 18%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.54. West Texas Intermediate crude is down to 58.64. Western Canadian Select is up to 46.24. And the TSX lost another 52 points today, ending the day at 31,049. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Algoma Steel says the need to accelerate its plan to lower costs was recognized well before U.S. tariffs went into effect. The company announced yesterday it will lay off more than 1,000 workers in March.
I would say that the entire company has known for a few months now what our strategy would be if these tariffs are not removed. We had to accelerate our pivot to electric arc steel making. That encompasses a shutdown, an accelerated shutdown of our blast furnace and coke ovens. That drives the amount of jobs that we announced yesterday going on layoff.
The company is Sault Ste. Marie's largest employer and says it's reshaping its product mix to better align with the demand of the Canadian market. The union says the announcement a month before Christmas is particularly devastating because there are not a lot of jobs out there.
The Parliamentary Budget Office is projecting the federal government's effort to build more affordable homes will fall short of what is needed. The PBO sees a modest boost in housing supply from the Build Canada Homes agency launched by Ottawa in September. The Budget Office reports 26,000 units are projected to be added to the total supply across the country over the next 5 years, half of which would be affordable homes. But that accounts for only 3.7% of about 690,000 units the PBO estimates are needed to restore housing affordability over the next decade. Ottawa says the new housing agency is just getting started.
Mayor Olivia Chow is proposing an increase to the city's luxury homes tax rate. The motion to the city's executive committee suggests raising the cost to buy luxury homes incrementally between 0.9 and 1.1%. The motion says the city's facing an affordability crisis, and the change would shift the cost of funding to those who can best afford it. The change would bring the rate to 4.4% for people buying a $3 to $4 million home. The number would increase depending on property value, rising to as much as 8.6% for those buying a home worth more than $20 million. The motion indicates the change would bring in $152 million in revenue for the city in 2026.
To sports, the Toronto Maple Leafs are back in action tonight, looking for their second straight win.
In for Easton Cowan, centering it, back to Cowan, scores! What a pass from Nylander!
Toronto is coming off a 7-2 win against the Penguins on Saturday. This evening, they are in Florida for a tilt against the defending Stanley Cup champs. The Panthers are hoping to hold a 3-game home skid.
Abaji to quick, trigger!
And the Toronto Raptors try to avoid a third straight loss tonight. They've dropped 2 straight after a 9-game win streak. The Raps will welcome the 8-12 Portland Trailblazers to town tonight. Toronto is 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, Scotty Barnes has been named the NBA's Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month for October-November. He's the first Toronto Raptor to earn the award since it was created ahead of the 2024-25 season. Barnes helped lead Toronto to a 14-7 start while anchoring a group that sits near the top of several defensive categories.
With the lob. Oh, my goodness.
And Canada's men's basketball team is off to a flying start in their quest to qualify for the 2027 FIBA World Cup. And the whole team was up for this one, as well as they defeated Bahamas 94-88 at the Mattamy Athletic Center. Canada has now started qualifying with 2 straight wins.
To football, and the Toronto Argonauts have a new head coach. Mike Miller has served as the team's quarterback coach for the past 4 seasons, but he has now been promoted to the top job. The 55-year-old has extensive coaching experience in the CFL, NFL, XFL, and Europe. He succeeds Ryan Dinwiddie, who left to become head coach and GM of the Ottawa Red Blacks. And the Toronto Blue Jays have made it official. They have agreed to terms with right-hander Dylan Cease on the largest free agent contract in franchise history. The 7-year deal is worth $210 million. Cease finished second in AL Cy Young Award voting in 2022 and 4th in 2024. Lindsay.
Well, this donation will certainly help us build a mountain of toys. We are with the York Punjabi Association. I've got 2 lovely representatives here. Tell us a little bit about your donation tonight.
Hello, everyone. As mentioned, we're the York Punjabi Association, and we're so excited for our 11th annual contribution to CTV's Toy Mountain. This year, we're bringing in a record-breaking donation of $5,200.
Wow, $5,200, unbelievable.
We would like to thank all of our friends, family, and community for contributing this year. One of our values as the York Punjabi Association is to give back to the community, so we're feeling beyond grateful that we were able to give back and donate to the Mountain of Toys.
Oh, they are certainly building a toy mountain. Hold those toys up nice and high, and if you want to drop off a toy donation and maybe snap a picture for us, you can tag us at CTV Toy Mountain on social media, or you can email us. We would love to see it and perhaps show it off on our newscast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
A new visual art experience featuring Canadian artists has opened in Toronto.
It explores emotion, expression, and what it means to belong. CTV's Jessica Smith has the details.
From texture to abstract to famous faces reimagined, the new Material Memory exhibition at Twist Gallery on Queen Street West is designed to make you think.
This exhibit is to bring up the emotions that people have through different memory and material. What I love about this exhibit is that it's a combination of abstract and landscapes.
Featuring work from 8 artists from across Canada, it explores how different materials and experiences can become memories, and how those memories can become art.
We want them to kind of stand in front of the artwork and take a step back and just see what memory kind of resonates with them looking at the artwork. And that's why we selected these 8 artists.
For Toronto-based artist Mark Viola, whose work includes an interpretation on familiar famous faces, it's about bringing a memory into the present moment.
My hope is that when people see it, when they read the lyrics or interact with the work in some way, it brings to surface some kind of memory.
Each piece telling its own story from the artist's perspective and hopefully resonating with patrons who take it all in.
I remember that movie, or my dad or my mom or my grandmother used to listen to that artist. Those emotions and those feelings are really the connection that I want them to have with the artwork.
Leaving with new memories made.
The Material Memory exhibition is open for people to come and interpret in their own way. The show is free to attend and runs all the way through to December 16th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
And let's check back in with Evolution Chamber in Mississauga, where it is cold outside, but all that generosity, Lindsay, warming our hearts tonight.
Michelle and Nathan, I am learning that it is evolution season. It's not just winter. Did I get that right?
Exactly. It's evolution season.
Okay, well, it's been fabulous here tonight building a toy mountain. And we've loved the fact that it's Giving Tuesday. That's the message we want to send home tonight, Gina, to the viewers watching.
Absolutely. We're here. What a great way to celebrate Giving Tuesday. We've got over 70 people that have walked through here tonight, and they're all giving back to the communities that they love so much. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been amazing to have this big crowd on a cold night. I think we're all keeping each other nice and cozy. And as we take a look at your 7-day forecast for the next few days here, you'll find that it is still going to be quite cold going forward. So maybe if you're looking for something to do to warm up, head off to a local shopping mall or store, pick up a new unwrapped toy and drop it off at one of our Toy Mountain donation bins. It's been awesome tonight building a toy. Let's hear it. Oh yeah, that was the loudest one so far. Thank you again to the York Punjabi Association. A reminder that you can text to donate. There are so many different ways that you can contribute to this campaign. It's been a fabulous night. Michelle and Nathan, I'll send it back inside to you.
Thanks, everyone.
Great work.
I know, we sure appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. That's it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zarada Alman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Great to know.